Imagine putting your trust in someone, believing they care for you, only to have that trust shattered in the most brutal way. This is the tragic and horrifying story of Mara Struggs, whose life was mercilessly cut short by the very person who claimed to love her. How did things escalate to this unimaginable point? What led to the shocking moment of betrayal and violence? Her story is more than just another crime statistic. It is a chilling reminder of the devastating consequences of toxic relationships and unchecked abuse. Today, we dive deep into the heartbreaking case of a young mother and Onlyfans creator whose life ended in cold blood at the hands of a man who couldn't accept her independence. Mara Struggs, affectionately known as Mermy or Merm to her family and friends, was a 29-year-old woman originally from Marrero, Louisiana. She was a devoted mother, a loving daughter, and a cherished friend. Those who knew her described her as loyal, kind-hearted, and always willing to help those around her. Growing up, Mara faced her fair share of hardships. She lost her father at a young age, an event that profoundly impacted her and shaped her resilience. Despite the pain, she remained dedicated to building a stable life, not just for herself, but for her young child. She was also deeply involved with her family, offering emotional support to loved ones during difficult times, including her uncle's battle with cancer. Even through personal grief and adversity, Mara exuded a determination to keep pushing forward. In search of financial stability, Mara turned to Onlyfans, a popular online platform where creators sell content to subscribers. With a $35 monthly subscription fee, she made it clear that she would only sell digital content, setting firm boundaries and refusing any in-person meetings despite external pressure. Her business flourished, giving her a sense of independence and financial security. But behind the scenes, trouble was brewing. Her success, which should have been a source of empowerment, instead became a point of contention in her personal life. One person in particular couldn't handle her independence, and that person would soon take everything from her. The toxic relationship, a dangerous trap. Enter Nicholas Finley, a 34-year-old man who initially appeared to be a loving and supportive partner. However, his charm quickly gave way to darker tendencies. As their relationship progressed, Nicholas became increasingly possessive and manipulative. He insisted that Mara stay at his place, pressured her for money, and treated her financial success as a direct threat to his control over her. His need for dominance extended beyond their personal relationship and into her professional life. He attempted to dictate the type of content she could post on OnlyFans and demanded a cut of her earnings, framing it as his right as her partner. His possessiveness grew suffocating, and Mara soon realized she needed to escape the toxic cycle of control. At first, she tried to dismiss his behavior as insecurity, but as the arguments became more frequent and more volatile, Mara knew she had to leave. She made the courageous decision to walk away. Unfortunately, this decision would prove to be the most dangerous one of her life. The final day, a meeting turned deadly. July 19th, 2024. The day everything changed. What should have been another step toward Mara's independence instead became the day she lost everything. The Harris County Sheriff's Office received a chilling report of gunfire at the park at Cumberland Apartments in Houston, Texas. Upon arrival, officers discovered the lifeless body of Mara Struggs in the parking lot. Her body riddled with multiple gunshot wounds. She was pronounced dead at the scene. The chain of events leading up to her murder paints a terrifying picture of escalation and premeditated violence. That morning, Nicholas had borrowed Mara's car. While driving, he was pulled over by police for a traffic violation. Furious, he called Mara, demanding that she bring him her insurance card immediately. Despite her reservations, Mara, always seeking to keep the peace, agreed to meet him at the apartment complex. When she arrived, tensions were already high. Witnesses reported hearing an argument inside the car. Nicholas was growing increasingly aggressive, hurling accusations and blaming Mara for his misfortunes. As the confrontation escalated, Mara, realizing the situation was becoming dangerous, tried to leave. She bolted from the car, running across the parking lot in sheer terror, desperately trying to find safety. She reached a parked vehicle and frantically attempted to open the doors, but they were locked. In a state of panic, she turned to flee again, but Nicholas was already in pursuit. He pulled out a handgun and fired. The first bullet struck Mara, causing her to collapse, but she refused to give up. She struggled to get back on her feet, trying to escape. Nicholas showed no mercy. He closed the distance between them and, standing over her, unleashed 8 more rounds into her defenseless body, ensuring she would never rise again. As Mara lay motionless on the pavement, Nicholas snatched her purse, turned away as if nothing had happened, and fled the scene in her car. The aftermath. Nicholas was arrested within hours, his attempts to evade law enforcement proving futile. Surveillance footage, witness testimonies, and forensic evidence all painted a clear picture of premeditated murder. The man who had once professed love for Mara had gunned her down in cold blood, his actions driven by control, entitlement, and a toxic need for dominance. The community was shaken. Friends, family, and supporters gathered to mourn Mara, holding vigils and sharing heartfelt tributes. Social media erupted with calls for justice, amplifying her story and shedding light on the horrors of domestic violence. Mara's mother made the heartbreaking decision to have her cremated, ensuring that her memory remained close to those who loved her. Her child, left without a mother, would now grow up with only memories and photos, a painful reminder of a life stolen too soon. In court, prosecutors wasted no time in outlining the brutality of Nicholas's crime. His defense attempted to claim he acted in the heat of the moment, but the overwhelming evidence suggested otherwise. He had pursued Mara, executed her in broad daylight, and showed no remorse. The justice system moved swiftly, ensuring that he would never have the chance to hurt another woman again. The bigger issue: financial control and online safety. Mara's story sheds light on the complex issues of financial control, power struggles, and personal conflicts that can turn relationships toxic. Disputes over money, independence, and trust often create tensions that, if left unresolved, can escalate into dangerous situations. When one person in a relationship seeks greater control, whether financially, emotionally, or physically, it can lead to manipulation, coercion, and, in extreme cases, violence. Financial dependence is often used as a tool to keep a partner tied to a relationship, limiting their ability to leave. On the other hand, financial disputes and shifting power dynamics can also trigger resentment and conflict, fueling instability. In some cases, personal decisions and actions, whether intentional or not, can further strain an already volatile relationship, creating a cycle of mistrust and hostility. This case also highlights the growing concerns of online safety and privacy in modern relationships. Digital surveillance, cyberstalking, and financial tracking have become tools of control, allowing one person to monitor or manipulate another's actions. Whether through shared accounts, tracking apps, or social media monitoring, technology can play a significant role in worsening conflicts. Recognizing the warning signs of control, whether financial, emotional, or digital, is essential. Constant monitoring, restricted access to money, or threats tied to financial stability are all red flags that should not be ignored. Seeking help from support networks, legal resources, or professionals can provide options for those caught in toxic situations before they escalate into something far more dangerous. Mara Struggs didn't deserve this. She was a mother, a daughter, and a friend. Someone with dreams, aspirations, and a future ahead of her. Her tragic death is a stark reminder of the dangers of possessive and controlling relationships. If Mara's story teaches us anything, it's that no one should have to live in fear. We must work together to recognize the warning signs of abuse, support victims, and advocate for stronger protections against domestic violence. Raising awareness and taking action can save lives. If you or someone you know is struggling in a toxic relationship, please seek help. Domestic violence hotlines, support shelters, and community resources are available. No one should have their life stolen because they chose to walk away. Rest in peace, Mara. You deserve so much more. May your story serve as a lesson and a call to action for a safer future for all. If you found this story important, please share it to spread awareness. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more true crime stories.